Why are you bald?
I shaved all my hair off, and I'll tell you why. Because people make fun of me for being bald. Hey, you're bald. As in, like, I haven't noticed something.
Right.
Well, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I shave my head 3 times a week. Like, so I could grow hair back as beautiful as yours.
Thank you.
I'm not missing my hair at all. My hairline's fine. I could grow I could have a full head of hair like Tristan if I decided to. When I was maybe 10, my mother and father, we grew up in Indiana in America, and my mother and father got divorced, and my dad stayed in America, and my mother moved back to England with me, my brother, and my sister.
Right.
When got the divorce, because my mom was originally from England, and England has a social care system where you get a free house and you can live from the government money, whatever. So we had to move back to England. Yeah, so we moved back to England to a really bad area because it's free housing. And my father stayed in America to play chess because there's no chess scene where you can live off of in Europe at the time. I didn't see my father very often, but my father was a massive influence in my life. I think I had the best father on the planet. I think he was the smartest man who's ever walked the earth, bar none. Smarter than me by 100 times. I wish he was alive because having him on a podcast would break the internet. Dude was a genius. I have so many stories to prove his genius, but that's a tangent. I only saw my father maybe once a year at this point. I was about 10 years old. We'd moved from America 2 years before. I'm now living with my mother. By coincidence, my father was coming to visit, so my mom said, you have to get a haircut. Your father's coming. You need to look good. It's like, cool. So we went to the hairdressers. The hairdresser was full, our normal hairdresser, so we went to another hairdresser. I got a haircut at the other hairdresser. My mom said, I don't like how they've cut your hair. I don't like how they've cut your hair. It doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as good. Whatever. I'm 10, so I'm just a kid, right?
Yeah, you don't care.
My dad turns up. First time I've seen my dad in a year. He gets in the house. He's in the house for about 5 minutes, and my mom's like, yeah, I took him for a haircut, Emery, but Emery was his name. Emery, but I didn't like the way they cut their hair. And my dad's like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, I don't like how they've cut it. And my dad went nuts. My dad went, you're raising my boys, talking about how their hair looks. They're 10 years old. You got them looking in the mirror like girls. Talk about their hair. What's wrong with you, woman? You're my boys up. And he lost his temper big, right? My mom was all scared and said, oh, Emery, it's the first time I've seen you in a year. This is why we couldn't be together anymore. You're crazy. Called the police and told my dad to leave the house because my dad's saying, look, you can't raise my boys. You're going to raise them bitches. That lost his temper. My dad was a big guy, scary guy, right? Police came, kicked my dad out. So the first time I see my dad in a year, he gets kicked out of the house in less than an hour. He messages my mom and says, look, I want to see my boys. I don't want to come to the house. I don't want to see you, bitch. I want to see my sons. So my mom puts us in a taxi to go over to his hotel. We go to his hotel, and he takes me and he marches me down to the hairdresser, and he says, son, I'm going to shave all your hair off. And I'm only 10. So I'm like, why? He's like, when you grow up and you become a man, you'll realize that nobody gives a shit about the kind of hair you have. They care about the kind of man you are. They care about your qualities as a man. Haircut is probably the least important thing. So he sat me down in this chair. They started shaving my head. And because I'm only 10, I started crying. Right?